My name is REB L LIMERICK. I'm an interdisciplinary performance and video artist based in Los Angeles, currently on TONGVA, CHUMASH, and KIZH Land. I have been an artist my whole life. I'm currently working with words as well as working with high school students. I teach video art at Harvard Westlake School in Studio City. And I take on many leadership roles there, including running the Westlake Film Festival, the HW Go Storytelling Adventures program, and I'm newly the upper school coordinator of diversity, equity, and inclusion. Today, I'm going to do something that I am very familiar with, be on Zoom and show you all a PowerPoint. As a teacher in the online age, I've gotten really into creating PowerPoints, and today we're mediating and meditating upon power. Different systems of power. So we're going to get into a performative, powerful PowerPoint, and I'm going to try to be in my power, to be in my voice and my body. A PowerPoint by REB L LIMERICK. Oh, hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, hey, no one man should have all of that power. I'm in my power suit. I'm on a power trip. And whoops, I tripped on the power cord. It's all hooked up to my power strip, just in case there's a climactic disaster, which brings another power outage. I've got a backup power supply and a brand new generator. I'm thirsty for oil. I'm power hungry. Wow! I feel powerful burning fossil fuels. Pow! Pow! Wow! I feel sorrowful for what I just said, for the powwows happening on stolen Tongva land. I grew up on unceded Tequesta territory. I grew up in South Florida, survived countless hurricanes, huddling in the hallway, praying the roof wouldn't blow off. I remember crouching low, power lines down, circuit blown, look me in the eye of the storm, praying the roof wouldn't blow off. We tend to rely on the power of thoughts and prayers, place our faith in chance, lest we forget people power, safety in numbers, power to the people. No one's free until we're all free. Power to the people, but don't forget to wear your mask. We don't have enough PPE for our nurses, so you'll have to improvise. There are Power Rangers, and then there are Power Derangers. One riot load gear load can buy 55 frontline workers full PPE. Narratives of scarcity are bullshit. There's enough to go around. Plenty should be enough. Scarcity is a myth. And the power of myth is powerful. The mythology of technology. The cloud is in the ground, sucking our resources, but we're fed a more magical narrative. I mean, the power of narrative, the power of the Powerpuff Girls, kindergartners by day, superheroes by night, defeating Mojo Jojo. Here we see diversity in hair color and personality. So white female empowerment. We're talking about power, but what's the point if not everyone feels empowered? So let's break down the most basic unit of power. The what? Watts. What's up with this? Watts neighborhood. The Watts neighborhood in South Los Angeles. Has anyone been to the Watts Towers? Does anyone remember the Watts uprisings of 1965, starting with the unlawful arrest of Marquette Frye? How about the Rodney King uprisings of 1992, which deeply impacted Watts and many other South LA neighborhoods? Who lives near power plants? Communities of color. Oil pipelines are rerouted from white affluent neighborhoods through indigenous burial grounds. Power lines are buried so that we can't trace the connections. Oh, we can't share our salaries. Someone at my work said, you don't want to play that game. We must uphold the white, cis, hetero, patriarchal power structures, all trying to climb to the top of the power tower. Let's flip it sideways. Let's make it a bridge and like chill and drink beer and watch the sunset. Did someone say, beer power hour, rush, 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 rush. Join our super exclusive classist sexist organization. We have a strong alumni network. We have influence. I'm under the influence and I need to take a power nap. I go to sleep to dream. I go to sleep to dream of power fists. I dream of care, not cops. I dream of speaking truth to power. I have nightmares too. Nightmares of ecosystem collapse, of having to choose between the earth and the internet because the data centers are sucking too much power. And in my nightmare, all my friends become flat earthers. Uh-oh, I'm flatlining, and if I don't wake up, I give you power of attorney because I don't want to be kept alive by a machine. Or maybe I do. I want both. Daddy, I want it all. And if I cannot have it right now, I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it at all. I don't want it, I don't want it, I don't want it at all. I'm a power verse. In touch with the power of the universe. I'm a powerhouse filled with the power of love, filling my lungs to sing my power chord. Okay, this is a bit of a power move, but I'm going to find my power stance and I'm going to let out my power sound. Okay, that was pretty powerful. That was pretty powerful, but I've learned that actually, if I give my individual power over to our collective power, it's much more powerful. So I invite everyone here to find their power position, any position that makes you feel powerful. And when you're ready, let's all let out our power sounds. You can feel free to stay muted or unmuted. You're going to find a power position, sitting or standing, something that makes you feel powerful. And then all together, we're going to let out our power sounds. Okay, maybe that was a little scary. Try again. What makes you feel powerful? Get into a stance or a position that makes you feel powerful right now. Maybe you're in touch with the sky. Maybe you're in touch with the ground. Root yourself. Let's take a deep breath. We'll let out our power sounds. My power sounds are tones to heal the ozone. Thank you.
REB L Limerick, you're awesome. I just loved your performance. I loved all the images. Your name that you chose is perfect because all the wordplay and the connections and the metaphor and the way you made a very deep, painful, sometimes sad topic very upbeat and fun and engaging. You invite conversation instead of turning people off. It feels like you could really get your students. Do you do this with your students? You're a teacher. I'd love to hear if you use this with teaching too.
This is Anisha. I'm in Niwot, Colorado, and I tuned in just a tad, a couple minutes late, but I loved the creativity. I loved how you incorporated a lot of different artistic expressions and sounds. And it's very funny because this morning on my walk, before my walk, I had a Facebook from one of my friends, and her daughter turned 8, and they had this very creative birthday party yesterday. And so I spent the morning writing a story for her 9th birthday, and it was all about courage. And I just loved your whole presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. And I love hearing that it brought up the courageous narrative that you've been writing in your own work in time.
Do you use this type of performance in your teaching? Is this all part of your teaching?
I definitely have performative moments with my students. I definitely take care and time and thought into all of my PowerPoint presentations and how they can be as connective as possible, as inclusive, as diverse. And I try to bring, my joyful spirit to my teaching experience every day into my classroom. Sometimes it's, sometimes it's a little more normal, but I often try to infuse my weirdness and performativity on a daily basis, and definitely encourage my students to include performance and be braver and take artistic risks within the classroom by showing them how I do that.
Yeah, congratulations. It's really, you've taken teaching to an art form. A lot of artists teach, but they consider it, a side trip or just a way to support themselves. But you've really made it an extension of your art and your person. And those kinds of things are very powerful for kids.
Do you have in-person performances like this where you would have the images on the screen and you would be maybe in front of them and performing like that?
Pre-COVID, I was definitely performing around different small theaters or gallery spaces within Los Angeles. And before that, I lived in Minneapolis when I was going to graduate school there and was performing all around the city. Often when I have a live performance, it's like me, the projected video, as well as a microphone with a looping pedal so that I can loop my voice and have different sonic effects as well. So there's usually kind of the audio element, of course my voice and singing and language, and then behind me whatever video projections, sometimes found images like today, and then oftentimes I generate my own images. So it's like a multimedia experience, and I've been able to try to translate it to Zoom as much as possible during the pandemic, but obviously I missed the experience of having the live audience interaction. Put my website in the chat. It's rebellart.space. And my given name is Rebecca Lee Limerick. So in some ways, I was born to be the wordsmith that I am. My mom is on the call right now, so shout out to Julie Limerick. So yes, I'm rebellart.space, and I update that regularly with videos and performances and sound art and music. I have I have multiple characters that I embody. Today I was embodying myself, but kind of the most teacherly form of myself. But sometimes I have wigs on, and I have an ecosexual pop star character named Eka Echo. So I perform music around town and around the internet under the name of Eka Echo as well.
This is Anisha again, and I love the storytelling. I just love the storytelling. Do you have stories about any of your students' storytelling?
Halfway through the year last year in my video art 3 class, I proposed this idea of the dream project, and we looked at a lot of different sources of media where the director or the creator or artist was inspired by dreams or nightmares. So obviously surrealism and Lynch films and Maya Deren films, and we created a dream narrative together, and it was really exciting because it was an 8-person collaborative project, and there were multiple writing prompts and discussion prompts that got us to our eventual script. So every day people would have to, they'd be keeping the dream journal and bringing in their fears and nightmares to class. And so together, the 8-person group of senior students, the class of 2020, created this incredible script for this dream and nightmare narrative based on all of their collective dreams and nightmares, but through the lens of different characters. Like these 2 girls are at a sleepover, and their cat accidentally drinks some mugwort tea, which inspires dreams. So the cat has its own journey in the film, where it becomes this businessman tiger on a plane who is solving the world's problems in the laboratory, but it becomes his laboratory. So my students definitely were infected with the same wordplay bug as me. And when we went to online schooling because of the pandemic, they were so bummed because we had already cast the actors and they had this whole vision for how they were going to shoot the film. But luckily they were able to bounce back and find a way to do it through animation. So if you go to hwvisualarts.com, that's the website for our school's visual arts page, and you can find, it's called Asleep and Afraid. That was the senior film last year based on dreams and nightmares, and I was really proud of them and kind of helped to produce the whole thing, but it was their project.
After your name, you wrote TONGVA, CHUMASH, KIZH Land, or is that a place? Is that?
So those are the indigenous or native territories where Los Angeles resides. So I just wanted to give some emphasis to those names as well. Like obviously I call it LA or Los Angeles most regularly, but this is where I am in Mid-City is TONGVA, CHUMASH, and KIZH Land. And if you go to native-land.ca, even if you're not in California, that is a resource that gives anyone an opportunity to look around and see what territory they're on and the names of the tribes. So I always also show that to my students so we can kind of get situated in where we are.